Welcome to 2 out of 3 Recommend. I'm Lee.
And I'm Brett,
We're two brothers out of 3 getting together to chat.
and recommend drinks, movies, shows, and things to keep you busy.
Welcome to another episode of 2 out of 3 Recommend. We are 2 out of 3 brothers recommending stuff that we can't recommend on our 2 Drink Cinema podcast.
Yeah, because we'd go on for hours.
Yes. So this week we are back with another thing. I'm wearing a pink t-shirt because news this week that not only is Barbie the biggest selling movie of the year, it's also the biggest selling movie in Warner Brothers history.
Yes.
Knocking off the last 2 Harry Potter movies not adjusted for inflation.
Because I was like, what have Warner Brothers done? And then it was Harry Potter. I'm like, oh, fuck. All right, that's pretty decent then.
Yeah. And
they were bad. No, they
but
were
also,
good.
then the Warner Brothers boss has come out also during this week and been like, Harry Potter and DC are underused properties. We're like, yeah, because anything with a Marvel sticker on it earns $1 billion.
Yeah, Harry Potter.
The only $1 billion you've made is Barbie recently.
Yeah.
Like, they've had so many DC movies that have come out and been unable to really make a dent at the box office.
Yep.
And it's just Barbie that has made it. I heard a podcast try to say that Barbie was a little bit for a niche audience.
No.
They went on to clarify and said when the Barbie doll first came out, it was for a niche audience. Like, there wasn't already an audience for that kind of doll.
Yeah.
But the movie certainly wasn't. And I heard another movie podcast talk about one of the reasons that this has made so much money is because is proof that the female audience is what's the word? Not underrepresented, but unmarketed to.
Yeah. Because, like, if
They
you think of
don't
the
make
big movies...
big movies for women.
Yeah. If all the big blockbuster movies are action movies that are more...
Yeah.
Geared towards a male audience.
Yep. I reckon even Ben Shapiro's seen it twice at this point, Barbie,
I think he would have to know how much about it.
to know how much he hates it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to go and see it again in a week or so, I reckon.
Cool.
Let's have a drink.
Sure. Sounds good.
I have brought, for a little bit of nostalgia, a couple of
Udall.
UDLs, but the
Pronounced
UDL
Udall.
cocktails. And so the ones that I've chosen, as you can see on the screen, yes, the UDL Pina Colada cans. I love a Pina Colada. I'm going to say it.
The can looks old. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
well-
I feel like UDL don't do this artwork anymore.
Oh, well, they were in the reduced for sale bin.
As long as they're not off.
Well, what's the date on them?
You know what I mean? Like, it just looks like an old style. Maybe that's what the point is.
Maybe that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
The nostalgia factor. Not that I ever drunk when I was underage UDLs.
And they've been around since 1965.
I actually didn't
so-
drink underage anyway.
Yeah.
This is a UDL Pina Colada. I love a Pina Colada.
Cool.
Cheers. Oh,
Very good work.
good crack.
Smells pineapple-y. Ooh.
It's not super alcoholic tasting, but it's very sweet.
Ooh, synthetic coconut.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They know their market, UDL. It's a fake drink.
Oh, that's not that nice.
I don't mind it. I'll drink it.
I mean, I still drink it, but it's not that nice.
It could be a little bit colder. Sorry, it hasn't been in the fridge for
Oh, well, there you go.
probably long enough.
I would recommend chilling.
Well, that's why
Best
I put
served
it.
chilled.
That's why I put it in the 2 Drink Cinema stubby holder, which you can get. If you tip us, we'll send you a stubby holder.
Lee, I also brought a snack.
Great.
I went to the chip aisle today.
Good.
I bought Smith's Subway meatball sub flavour.
Oh, you know what I saw a TikTok of that we could do
Yeah.
is a couple for date night just walk through the supermarket and randomly point at the shelf and the other one says stop. And they have to get that snack.
Okay.
And then they randomly walk through the ice cream aisle and they have to point stop.
All
That's
right.
what they have for dessert. They randomly point through the drinks. That's their drink.
Okay.
And they randomly point through like the frozen meals and they
Yeah.
get a shitty pizza.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Okay. But yeah, so I got Subway meatball sub Smith's chips limited edition.
edition.
Edition. So
You've
I don't really
pre-opened them
do
this
it.
time.
I pre-opened them because here's some I prepared earlier.
I don't do Subway. I am on the record.
I don't do a meatball sub at Subway.
No, I don't do
I've
Subway.
never had a meatball sub at Subway, so I don't know what to compare it to. So maybe this wasn't a great choice.
I've had a meatball sub in name drop New York.
All right, Joey Tribbiani.
Okay. But
Taste icons.
I don't do Subway because the bread smells fake.
You know it's real bread, though.
No, it's not. I hate the smell of a Subway restaurant. I also hate
beefy.
the sandwich artist.
Oh, well, they're
Bullshit.
not
You're
artists.
slapping some fucking cheese on a bit of bread. Anyone can do that.
Ready?
Anyway,
Chips.
cheers.
Ooh. Tastes like rissoles.
Yeah, it does actually.
Tastes like meatballs. Yeah.
It's a bit
That's actually not bad.
it's a bit barbecue flavory in the meatiness of it,
But there's more meat.
and there's herb.
You can definitely get like the sauce, the meatball sauce that they use.
Oh yeah, in the aftertaste.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's herbs, which is what is making you think rissoles.
I haven't had a rissole for
There's
years.
some herbs in there. What do you call these, Dal?
Oh, they're
Rissoles. All right. Well, you
good. Recommend.
taking that packet home, and I'll keep the UDLs.
That's what I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna have that for dinner tomorrow night.
If you're a UDL fan, I reckon you'll like this UDL
I reckon.
because, like, UDL's thing is fake.
I reckon go and buy the ingredients and make a pina colada yourself.
But if you CBF or you're going to drink in a park with your friends,
Oh, that's true.
which is what UDLs are all about.
Yeah.
Right? Sitting at a playground after it's dark and your parents don't know you're there. That's what UDL's all about.
I don't
Do
know
not
why you said
underage.
playground. It sounds like you're there drinking while you're watching your kids. Your kids, not kids. Your kids. Like, let's go to the
Yeah.
playground, kids. I'll get my UDLs.
No. Mums now in their Lululemons having their espresso martinis watching their kids.
In a can. Yeah.
This is for
These are bloody good chips.
11 o'clock on a school holiday weeknight
Yes.
when your parents think you're at home, but you're not because you're drinking with your friends in a park. Not that I'm saying underage drinking should be allowed.
These are for taking to the musical after party.
Yeah, because they're cans and they're very easy. No one
And I drank UDLs at that house. For
No
sure.
one in the UDL target market is shaking their own cocktails.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, drinkable. Chips. Big
Chips
fan.
are a winner?
Big fan of the chips. Did you
Okay.
already order dinner tonight? Cancel. I'll just have the chips.
Nah, dinner's on the way.
Yum. Yum, yum, yum.
All right, so
was good.
I'm recommending the UDL if you're that type of drink fan.
Yep.
What does it stand for?
Ultimate drinking liquid.
I thought it stood for
Something limited.
Universal Drinks Limited.
Maybe. It doesn't say. United Distillers Limited. It's a little...
There you go.
There you go.
It's 1.2 standard drinks.
I think I prefer universal drinking liquid.
You know what I'm going to get to is when we were in the UK, we tried these black currant and dark fruit ciders that have started to appear in Dan Murphy's.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to bring some of those along in future weeks.
Cool.
Now, recommendations. If you are one of the 4 people on the planet that hasn't seen Barbie, go and see it.
Yep.
Okay?
I watched a movie.
Great.
It was on Netflix. I was on home the other day and I was just flicking through. I'm like, I need to watch something different. Don't just watch, instead of watching, 3 episodes of a season of RuPaul's Drag Race that you've already seen 4 times, watch something different.
Okay, yes.
So I watched Dear Evan Hansen.
Oh, yeah. I've watched
I
it.
should have watched 3 episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race that I've already seen 4 times before. Seriously.
Well, this is you not following my recommendation. Because
I know.
the year that
I was pre-recommending.
the year Dear Evan Hansen was nominated for far too many Razzies, I watched it and I didn't get to talk about it on the podcast because you got the COVID.
That's right.
But I definitely did tell you not to bother watching Dear Evan Hansen.
You know what? I wish I could remember back that far because I probably should have taken your advice
Yep.
because it is Kind of shit. Look,
Let me find the word shit.
this story is weird. So,
Yeah.
the kid has no friends
Yep.
and he's a weirdo
Yep.
and he looks like,
Ben Platt.
the episode of Glee where somebody dreams that they're puppets?
No, but yes.
That's what Ben Platt looks like in this movie to me.
A 30-year-old puppet, though.
But not because it's this de-aging thing they did. It's very off-putting.
I still think he looks old, though.
I still think he is worse looking in that movie than he actually is in real life. Anyway. So he's just like, I've got no friends. And then this guy yells at him and he's writing these letters to his therapist, to himself, whatever.
Yep.
And then the kid, content warnings. And then he...
He's the last
he keeps
connection.
he keeps this lie going.
Yep.
And I just found that very awkward. Like the whole idea of it, I found awkward. I get why he did it because he wanted attention. He wanted to get into his sister's pants.
But also, it's the only thing that's felt like a friend. Even
Yes.
though he knows it's not real,
I think he's psychopathic.
it has a friend feeling that he's never felt before.
Yep.
And so wants to
He
feel.
made it up in his head.
Yeah.
The other thing I found weird is like it opens with a song, which was the one song that I'd heard from Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah. I got a story about that song.
And then you didn't get another song until like half an hour later. And I'm like, is this still a musical?
Yeah,
like,
it is
what's
a
happening?
musical, or is it an opening song?
Ben Platt just kind of mumbles the whole time. So he's just like,
Which is odd because he's a stage actor.
and then when he sings, yells.
Yeah.
Because you have to sing those songs.
Yes.
Nope. I wasted 2 hours of my life.
Would you... Let me paint you a scene. You're at a pub. It's a Friday night. It's about 10 o'clock.
Yeah, sounds familiar. Been there
Yeah,
before.
on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Karaoke.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Would you sing a song from Dear Evan Hansen?
I would sing the first song. That's it.
But isn't like... The song that I remember this person singing was more about the content warning than the opening of the... Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. Odd. Very odd choice. I feel like KJs should be able to be like, no, now is not the time.
KJs.
Karaoke jockeys.
Oh, fuck off.
I feel like
Well,
KJs
yeah.
should be able to go, no.
No, read the room, mate.
It's 11:30 on a Friday
Yeah.
night. Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton is not the vibe I'm going for here.
God. Anyway, I also found, like, were we meant to feel bad for him at the end? Because I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you made this up in your head. You drew all these people along. You were almost going to take their money at one point, and then you got found out. And I'm just not sitting there going, oh, but he's just a loner. I'm like, well, you're a psycho. Go to bloody the asylum.
Yeah. Sometimes you can be a loner, and I'll feel sorry for you if you're a loner. That sounds terrible.
Yeah,
Okay. But don't also be a deliberate weirdo.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But also, if you're going to be a weird, this is general life advice, recommendation.
Yeah.
General life recommendation.
be a loner.
No.
Oh,
If you're going to be a weirdo, right,
be an authentic weirdo.
prepare for some flack.
Yeah, but if you're just
Like-
being you, you're all right.
Yeah. But if being you, totally fine, right? I just mean that if you're being you is a bit different, there are going to be some people that have comments on that
Yeah,
because of the way people are.
yeah.
And you have to have the strength inside yourself
Oh, okay.
and search
Sounds like
for
a
the
song
hero
coming on.
inside yourself. All right? To be strong enough.
And then you got to defy gravity.
Yeah. And then be strong enough to be your own self, true to your own self, not lie about a content warning.
You don't
kid.
need another hero.
No, that's it.
Yeah. The other thing I thought was interesting
I was trying to have a serious moment, but fine.
Well, the way you said it didn't.
I know.
Anyway, so Ben Platt can sing. He is a singer.
Correct.
A stage
he won
singer.
a Tony
Yeah.
for singing.
Then when you cast Julianne Moore and Amy Adams in it, and they sing in the same time, you're like, you sound average.
See, this is what I don't get, right? Sometimes movie musicals will cast singers, right?
And then sometimes
Rent.
I was going to
Perfect
say
example.
that was the exact example I was going to use.
They
then
cast
they
the whole Broadway cast.
Yeah, except for
Rosario Dawson.
yeah, that's her name.
Sometimes they don't cast any singers. I'm looking at you, Moulin Rouge. Right?
Yes.
Sometimes
yeah.
they do a bit of both.
Yeah.
Dear Evan Hansen. Or like The Greatest
Sweeney
Showman.
Todd.
Yeah, okay, yep. Or like The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman.
Michelle Williams. No.
Tony Award-winning singer.
Yeah.
Zac Efron, not as good as Hugh, but good, right?
Yeah.
Keala Settle, singer.
Yeah. Michelle
Zendaya.
Williams. Well, Zendaya's a singer.
No.
She can do anything, Lee.
Michelle Williams. She's
She's the future of the world. Zendaya.
The unfortunate thing about Michelle Williams casting is that she wasn't great, but two,
The same people wrote the music.
she is going to be the iconic whenever someone sings that song.
Yeah.
So, like it's going to be a Broadway musical. And people are like, if I sing it at karaoke, it's going to be like, oh, well, it's Michelle Williams' song.
Yeah.
Like, she's not a singer.
You know who they could have cast?
Who?
Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child. She's a singer. Like, it would have been very odd, but hey, she would have been like,
Well, it also would have been very odd because she is a rich white woman, and
Yeah.
that is part of the point of the story.
yeah, it is. Anyway,
Can I recommend watching The Greatest Showman? I love it.
I love it. I'm going to watch it again. Just because.
When are you still talking about Jeremy Hansen?
No,
And
it
then
was
I'll come
weird.
back to Greatest Showman.
Basically, I don't recommend it.
Okay. The last few episodes we've recommended flat out. So
Yeah.
I'm glad there's a non-recommending. I'm going to recommend The Greatest Showman. Mm-hmm. I know it's old, but it's a great show. Hugh Jackman is great.
You know what I would also recommend?
We've talked about it on a previous podcast. Mm-hmm. When you watch Hairspray or High School Musical, you think Zac Efron's great,
Yeah.
right? Then you watch Hugh Jackman sing with Zac Efron, and you're like, oh no, Hugh Jackman is great.
I have to say, I'm not a huge fan of Hugh Jackman's voice.
It's not my choice of tone that I would listen to.
You know where he's all like,
He's
that was
great,
my
though.
impression of him as Jean Valjean.
He's a great singer. He's a better Jean Valjean than Russell Crowe is a Javert, though. But I will take Hugh's Jean Valjean over Russell's Javert.
I'd take my Jean Valjean over Russell's Javert, and I can't even hit half of those notes, as I just demonstrated.
So I'm going to recommend The Greatest Showman just because it's come up, but I'm also going to recommend listening to the bass in the moments of each song, right? So the bass just ticks along and just goes dum, 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 dum for the whole song, right? Then when it gets to the big moment, like before the last This Is Me, before the last chorus of Greatest Show, the bass just puts in like this hectic, crazy fill of just like just like two beats out of nowhere where the bass player's like, fuck it, I'm going to play every note I can.
Yeah.
And just shoves
I'm
them all
bored.
in.
Nobody's paying attention to me right now. I'll just see what I can get away with.
And me and my mate, who's a bass player as well, watch it and just like crank it up for that half a bar with the fill.
I would
so
also
listen out for that if you're watching The Greatest Showman again.
I would also recommend there's a soundtrack they did of like people
Oh yeah,
re-recording the
Doesn't
songs.
Pink and her daughter sing
Pink
one?
and her song sing. Pink and her song. Pink and her daughter sing a bit of
Yeah.
it, and there's because it's an interesting take on some of them that make it good.
Who else sings the duet? 1 Million, not Million Dreams. The Rewrite the Stars one.
It's like
Doesn't
Sarah Bareilles,
Yeah.
or is she sing that other one that Michelle Williams sings? Um,
I remember our old singing teacher, Dr. Bob,
yeah.
liked the movie, but he's like a proper, like, opera trained singer. So when Vera Lynn sings her song, the song
James Arthur and Anne Marie.
Oh, I don't know them, but it's a good version of that song.
Yeah.
When Vera Lynn sings her song, I remember his review was like, that song is not nearly good enough to show how good she was at the time, which is true. But it is also a musical.
You know how You know how Rebecca Ferguson didn't sing that?
Yes.
The girl who sung it.
Yeah, American Idol winner. Not winner.
No, she went on X Factor
Oh, yeah, one of those, yeah.
and sung that song. She was like, you might recognize my voice from singing this song in a movie. And so she sang, and they were all like, oh, you're amazing. I'm like, we already knew that, Lauren.
No, I thought she got the part because she was on Idol.
Nah, other way around. No, she was...
Lauren Alred.
Yeah, but she went back on. She's like, I did that. I'm not famous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And they were like, oh, wow, you can really sing that song. I'm like, it's on a fucking
Lauren
soundtrack, mate.
Allred is an American singer-songwriter and actress, made her Billboard Hot 100 debut with the platinum-selling Never Enough from The Greatest Showman musical. Okay. So she did a blind audition. Her blind audition on The Voice, the US, was in 2012.
Right.
She sung When Love Takes Over.
Oh, that's an odd choice.
Then in the battles sung Need You Now, Lady Antebellum.
Ooh.
She was saved by her coach.
Ooh.
Then in the
Gwen
knockouts,
Stefani.
she sung Amy Winehouse's You Know I'm No Good,
She gone.
saved by coach. Then in the live playoffs, she sung Lisa Stansfield's All Around the World
Okay. That's great.
and was eliminated.
Cool. But yeah, good movie.
Oh, okay. Then she got a gig as a member of the recording ensemble for a film musical being developed by Pasek and Paul. After working on early demos, she was cast as the singing voice of Rebecca Ferguson's character Jenny Lind on the project The Greatest Showman. You know, that's also how the guy, you know the movie The Commitments?
Yes.
Andrew
with the
Strong
cause.
is the main guy, one of the cause, just Andrew.
Just Andrea. Well, yeah.
Andrew
Like
Strong
saying, that's like saying Destiny's Child is in Dreamgirls.
is the main guy, right? Mustang Sally!
Yeah.
Better than that.
Yeah.
While they were auditioning singers, they wanted to rehearse the band. So he was the rehearsal singer
Oh, God.
to get the band together.
Yeah.
And then they were struggling to find a singer, and he was killing it. 16 years old.
Oh, is he
And
only
they're
that...
just like, just fucking make this.
Is he only that young?
This kid can do it. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. There's a little bit of movie trivia
And then
for
we
you.
never saw him again.
I did live at the Corner Hotel 6 years ago.
Random.
It was really good.
Anyway.
Very good. I have a movie that I've watched. I've talked about two others, but the movie that I forgot the name of last week is Things Heard and Seen, which is a horror thriller movie based on a novel entitled All Things Cease to Appear by Elizabeth Brundage. Stars Amanda Seyfried and James Norton, who is a very creepy, sleazy man.
James Norton.
I have seen him, but don't know him.
James
If that
Norton.
makes sense.
Spelt like Aaron?
No. Norton, like Horton, Here's a Who.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but with an N.
Norton.
So the movie is set in 1980 for unknown reasons, and Amanda Seyfried is a mum with a daughter, which I don't really believe Amanda Seyfried as a mum.
Okay.
But it does get quite creepy, and there's some seance-y shit and spirits.
Uh-huh.
Not quite where they need to get that little woman in from... What's the movie called?
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist. Thank you, God. Not quite to that level, but she finds an old Bible containing a family tree of the previous owners.
Okay.
And then things happen, and there's a twist, And James Norton is an asshole in the movie, not in real life. I've never met him. But if you're into creepy thrillers, it is on Netflix and is called Things Heard and Seen. I'm not recommending Brett to watch it.
I won't like it.
But I'm recommending if you are into horror thriller movies.
He also has a very interesting photo on Wikipedia. Oh, it went back. Why did it go back? Because of the way he's standing and then what he's standing in front of. So he's standing on like a bridge and it's got like pillars on the thing.
Yeah.
And it's like the pillars are kind of lined up with his legs. So they look like his legs. Yeah. Anyway, but then James, if you're listening, change your Wikipedia.
The barrier of the thing looks deliberately placed to block something.
Yeah, like he's not wearing any pants.
Like those funny photos when they show the divers and their names come up and cover their Speedos.
Ghoulies. Yeah.
Because their Speedos are so tiny, it looks like the drivers are nudie.
The divers.
Divers are nudie.
I have
You've
some
got
other
something else to recommend?
I've been on some travel recently.
To recommend, yes.
And I did some traveling. I don't do a lot of traveling, right?
Yes.
But you can tell people that travel a lot and people that don't.
Yes.
Especially when you're on a 7:30 a.m. flight from Melbourne to Sydney.
The city flyer.
You know, and it's like there were 3 guys that knew each other from working. Mm. They all rocked up in like brown shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Brown shoes, the brown kind of chinos, white shirt, blue jacket. They were all wearing the same thing. It was like a uniform. I thought that is hilarious.
R.M. Williams, of course.
Yeah. There's me, my, Harris scarf shoes that are imitation R.M. Williams. Basically, my recommendation to the general public
be better
is there. Sometimes you can just go about life just minding your own business, right?
Yep.
Other times there are things where you should listen to people that are in charge.
Yes.
And I think flying is one of them.
Yep.
Not so much the actual flying.
Yeah.
But like you're boarding a plane, listen to the announcement.
I'm so I don't always follow rules.
Okay,
like,
rebel.
Sometimes I'm just like, no, I feel like I don't know enough to understand this rule.
Yep.
So I'm just going to follow it. And I think that's the case on planes.
Yeah. We are just boarding business class now.
Yeah.
You're economy slob like the rest of us. Don't go line up with them.
Oh.
The other one, though. So when I was flying, I flew Virgin from Perth to Melbourne, right? Average. But they were like, economy plus business premium seating. We're going first.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Fine. Most people were fine with that. Then he goes, we are boarding everybody else now.
Yeah.
If you're rows 1 to 13, board from the front of the plane. If you're 14 to 30,
back.
Go the back.
Yep.
Do you think everybody listened?
Oh, fuck wits.
And then there's people, because I got an aisle seat.
Yeah.
Right. And I was wearing like 23 or whatever. So I went on the back, especially when you're walking down the little tunnel.
Yep.
And it says, there's a sign that says 15 and above this way.
Good.
Then you have to go down flights of stairs again.
Yep.
Fine. Whatever. Then I sat on an aisle, and then there's people there was this hilarious moment. It was like 2 women and were sitting together, and then another guy was separate.
Yep.
And so then there was this other couple coming from the back that needed to go forward, as this guy and these 2 women were from the front and had to go back. Oh. And then was like, oh, but we have to go there. And so for a bit they were just, well, we have to go there. And they just said, because
just a stalemate.
You can't walk around people in an aisle of an aeroplane.
No.
Because it's almost as wide as me.
And that's
what I learnt on that plane.
They board 1 to 13 together and 14 to 30 together.
So then the guy was coming this way, and so he goes, oh, there's nobody in these seats. I'll just duck in here.
Yep.
And then this couple were going past, and then she said to these women, oh, we need to go down there. And she's like, yeah, well, we're sitting there. like where the guy was standing. So then they had to do this, like,
no.
then they went in there, then the couple went past, then the women came out, then the guy went out and walked again, and then the women went in and sat down.
Fucking
I
hell.
was just like, because they were just standing at each other, looking at each other, like, how do we solve this? Like some sort of slide puzzle.
Yeah.
And I was almost going to stand up and be like, this should be like an Amazing Race challenge.
It's like an escape room.
Yeah, you have to go, how do you move the pieces around to do this logic puzzle?
You know what solves the problem? Fucking listen to the announcements and board where you're meant to board.
Because everybody's on their phone, because they have to call and then whatever. And I was just like, just listen to people. The other thing that's annoying is when you travel by yourself,
Yes.
you have to take your fucking suitcase everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting in the gate because I get there too early. That will be a surprise to no one. You get there an hour early for your flight. And then I'm like, oh, now I need to go to the bathroom.
You got to take your suitcase
I
in.
take my suitcase everywhere.
Yeah.
Annoying.
That's why it's not quite the same. But next time from now on, I'm only going to travel with a backpack.
Yeah.
The size of the backpack might change. Like even my next international travel, I'm not taking a suitcase. Because getting, like, we had to walk from our hotel to the train, catch the underground to somewhere, change to a national rail, and then go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I'm wheeling a 20-kilo fucking suitcase around. No thanks.
No.
I'm just traveling with a backpack from now on. And if that means I wear the same T-shirt 4 times in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
I'm dealing with it.
Well, you saw me with my little suitcase when we went to Newcastle. FYI, I bought a new suitcase.
Oh, good. Did it fit this time?
Yeah, it fit. No, it fit.
It fit.
It fit. The problem with it was too heavy
Oh, it was the
because
weight.
Jetstar
Yeah.
are a ripoff.
Yeah.
Even though I was like, my luggage was borderline
Yeah.
for Virgin, and I'm like, they're going to weigh me. But I've got my argument ready. Because it was like 7 kilos plus a personal item, right?
Oh, yeah. You got no personal item.
So my suitcase was like 7 point whatever kilos.
Yeah.
And then I had like a laptop bag with my laptop in it. And so
Okay.
altogether that was like 10 kilos.
Yes.
And if they were going, it's too heavy. I'm like, no. Carry-on is 7
Yeah.
plus my personal item.
But you were 7.1.
Yeah. Fuck them. They didn't measure because the flight was
Could
also
you have
full.
taken 100 grams out of your suitcase and put it into your laptop bag? Probably.
Probably. No, but yeah. So I was like, no, I'm ready for this argument. I don't care.
Were you going to Karen them?
No, I wasn't going to carry. I'm like, I was like, I had a website ready to go. I'm like, no, this is what it says.
That's Karening.
It didn't say up to 7. It said 7.
That's Karening.
Yeah.
Well, is 7.1 over 7 or is it 7?
Or just says 7.
Yeah. It doesn't say 8, like less than, it has to be less than 8.
Yeah.
though.
But it doesn't say it has to be less than 7. It says 7.
That's true.
So if I've only got a scale that the only scale ever invented that just has a single digit number.
Well, if it
doesn't have decimals.
If it's an analog one.
Yeah, I don't know that it's 7.2.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, but it was interesting. So there was then I was sitting, the flight from Virgin, so Perth to Melbourne, was a plane that's just 3-3,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
I was on the aisle because I always get on the aisle because I would rather get up for people that need to go out than be the person that asks.
Okay. Yes.
And I was like, it was so the 6 seats. It was me, and then this family were there. Me, the granddad, the dad. Then it was like the mum, and then the auntie, and a kid. Right? So that's the
Okay.
6 seats. So they're like surrounding me.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Did they ask you to
noisy.
move?
No, they didn't ask me to move.
Because you could have gone viral on TikTok.
I could have.
Because that's the thing. That's the thing that people are doing that's shitting me.
Right.
Book your tickets. Like, if you're going to book as a family.
But I would move.
Yeah. But
Unless it was like I had a thing about the seat.
But it's totally... Yeah, but what a lot of these people are doing is not taking into account the other person's reason. They're just like, I want to sit with my family.
Yeah.
Like, well, spend the $10 per person to choose your seats.
Yeah. So it was, and then at one stage, it was an uncomfortable flight
Okay.
because I was just felt squished the whole time.
Yeah.
which is why I don't like flying. I'm not like scared of flying or the taking off the landing.
Oh, yeah,
or
I'm
whatever.
just not comfortable.
I'm just uncomfortable the whole time.
Yep.
And then I can't sleep because I can't like stretch my legs a bit. Anyway. And then at one point, the kid, I don't know how old the kid was, like less than 2, we'll say.
Okay.
At one point, I was just sitting there and the kid was with the mum. And then at some point, they were like, oh, you can sit with your dad now. So then they passed the kid over the seat, not over me, but like over the, and I was just sitting there watching an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race I watched 4 times before. And I was like, I looked over and there was a kid and I was like, where the fuck did that kid come from? But I think this grandfather was like, what is this guy watching on his phone? You know, he was sitting there and he can't help but go like, what is he watching? And it was just, you know, a bunch of drag queens running around. He's probably like, what is this show? So I hope he goes home and tries to find out and ends up watching it.
But is it Down Under?
No, it was the real one. I mean the American
The real one, because apparently Down Under shit.
It is shit. And you know how I worked out it's shit.
How?
American drag is very different to Australian drag.
Okay.
And when you get an American host and a judge coming in and they want it to be the same as the American show.
They're judging by American standards.
But they're also like doing the challenges and these little kind of things based on American stuff.
Okay.
And then there's a disconnect of like, there's one particular mini challenge that is a reading challenge. You basically just insult people, but in a fun way.
That's drag. Yeah.
That's a very like American, so the American thing. But I'm like, that's not really Australian humour.
Yeah, the way we roast people is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I worked out the disconnect is. And I said, people are like, just let Courtney Act host it and be done with it.
Though I did watch a bit where it was like, oh, I've never sewed anything in my life.
Yeah.
I'm like,
there's someone on every single season.
If I couldn't sew, right, maybe I'm a drag queen, right, and you do all my sewing.
Yeah.
Right? That's fine. But then if I'm going to enter Drag Race, when I enter, I'm like, Brett, you have to teach me fucking everything about sewing because I'm not going to be that bitch who can't win Drag Race because I've never sewn my own costume in my life.
Yeah. There's always one, though. There always seems to be one. But you don't need to know how to sew a whole thing. You just need to know how to use a sewing machine a bit.
I reckon
you can get away with it.
I reckon I could flute a sewing machine.
But
isn't it always the one who can't sew who's like, I'm going to make like a patchwork quilt of a dress?
Yeah, they just hot glue shit together.
Types of material and I can't even sew.
Yeah, they go, I can't sew, but I'm thinking of making a hoodie.
Yeah, I'm thinking of making something really complex.
Thinking of making a one-piece pant vest hoodie combination with a cape.
No, I don't know how to sew. That was like, I've got 3 different types of material and I'm going to do stripes that go diagonally across my body. I'm like, fail. I know you're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, because the other thing is every season there's a celebrity impersonation challenge.
Yes.
And it's still always like one queen is like,
Joan Rivers.
I haven't prepared anything. Or I have this one thing, I'm going to do Beyonce and that's it. And then Rue comes around and goes, Beyonce isn't funny. This is a comedy thing. You're meant to be funny.
I would just pick Joan Rivers every time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's because you can just insult everyone and be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so flying is annoying.
I would not recommend flying. Is that what you're saying?
No, I recommend flying. But to general public, I would recommend listening to the professionals in that environment.
Yeah, they do know what they're doing. And they are paid to know what they're doing.
And...
yes.
I got Qantas and Virgin were my flights.
Yep.
Qantas is better than Virgin. You're just like, oh, there's a screen on the back of your seat.
Yeah.
There's a phone charger.
Yep.
And then I was like, because I flew back when there was a football game on that I wanted to watch. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to watch it because it was literally like the whole flight was 3.5 hours. I'm like, that's the game. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to watch it. Then it was like, oh, this comes with Wi-Fi. I'm like, oh, great. $25.
Oh, no thanks.
I'm like, I don't want to watch it that bad.
No. All right. That's enough.
That's my rant about
We've
traveling.
recommended some things and ranted. Coming back to the start, I have liked the UDL, and Brett's eaten most of the meatball
All the chips are gone.
chips. So they are both recommended. Thanks for listening to another episode of 2 out of 3 Recommend. This week, coming up on 2 Drink Cinema, is our review of Cool Runnings.
Yes.
So I would recommend in the next couple of days before that comes up, watching Cool Runnings and then getting ready to listen to that in the 2 Drink Cinema feed. Thank you, Brett.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks for listening to 2 out of 3 Recommend. We would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this podcast was produced and pay our respects to elders past and present.
If you'd like to support the podcast and become a member, gaining early access to episodes and an exclusive episode each month, sign up as a member using the link in the show notes.
If there's something you'd like to recommend to us, get in touch on the socials or in our Facebook group.
Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on your podcast app or on YouTube. Leave us a rating and review and tell your friends.